Okay, guys, doing a double review here. Because I saw a movie last week that I wanted to do a review for, but I was very tired after I left the theater for that one, so I just decided I would record it later and never got around to it. And I just got out of seeing a movie, and you've seen the title, so you know what movies I'm talking about, but I figured I would just do a double review because I don't feel like I have enough to say about both to cover like 20-minute videos like my usual reviews. So last week I saw Ghostbusters Afterlife, and it was good. Um, I'm not really a huge fan of Ghostbusters. The first movie is one that I'm aware of being on a lot when I was a kid. My mom loved it, and I've seen the opening with the librarian ghost. I can't tell you how many times, and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was one of my favorite things as a kid for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, I remember it being on a lot, and I remember one time sitting down and watching Ghostbusters 2 with my aunt at one point. But that's really it. And other than that, um, I played the video game when that came out, and that's a great game. I love that game. But Ghostbusters isn't something that's really near and dear to my heart. I don't really have the nostalgia for it. So this movie has a lot of fan service, and the fan service sometimes worked for me, even though it didn't make sense at all in the context of the universe and like tying into why it's there. But it wasn't a big thing for me, like Avengers Endgame being a bunch of fan service, but it was payoffs for setups of a ton of movies. It's a big difference, I know, but that's what I'm comparing it to, because Endgame was a big deal for me. All the big stuff was amazing. It blew my mind. I was yelling, I was crying. It's the one movie that's made me hyperventilate, and Ghostbusters as a franchise for me is just not that. I've seen the 2016 Ghostbusters once, and I hated it. I would rather not think about it. I hate everyone in it, except for Chris Hemsworth, and he was one of the only bearable things. But even he had some really stupid stuff that's not his fault, it's the script's fault. But I hate that movie, and I hate anybody who loves that movie. Sorry if you love that movie, but not sorry. um, of course, I'm not being serious. Satire. Um, but okay, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Yeah, I really had no expectations going into this. Um, my friend went and saw it, and he said some bits work, some bits don't, but overall he loved it, and I was like, great. Sometimes our opinions line up, sometimes they don't, and for me, it was just fine. I can't even really say I had fun with it. I was just kind of along for the ride, and then as soon as credits rolled, it was, okay, I saw that. I'm glad I saw that. I don't know when I'll see it again, if ever. Um, the acting was fine. Um, I'm blanking on the lead actress's name right now. Mackenzie Grace, I think is her name. I know her, so I'm really bummed that I'm forgetting her name. But she was great. She was the best thing about it. Um, or McKenna Grace, I think. Well, it doesn't matter. The girl, I saw her in the movie Gifted with Chris Evans, and I loved her in that movie. So when I found out it was her in Ghostbusters, I was really excited. Um, and that's about it. The rest of the cast was passable. Um, Finn Wolfhard, I'm kind of sick of him in this context. Uh, he's in Stranger Things, and so he started being cast as a kid in Stranger Things to things that are like Stranger Things. So, like with it was fine because I thought he fit Richie really well, and he was great. But this movie, he was so obviously cast because he was the kid in Stranger Things. And he's really not that good. He has nothing to do. He's boring. He's not funny. He just didn't work for me. The kid whose name is Podcast really pissed me off. I know I've seen a lot of reviews where people have loved him, and he just kind of got on my nerves. He's never funny. Um, and you kind of realize that all these kids are supposed to be stand-ins for the original Ghostbusters. So, like, the lead actress, she's Egon. Finn Wolfhard is Venkman. Podcast is... You get the idea. So, I mean, you get their stand-in. So, they like, try to give these kids their quirks, and it just really doesn't It didn't work for me because none of them are as good as those original guys. And speaking of which, at least this movie, it felt more natural to bring in the original, I guess, trio, because Harold Ramis is dead. But it made more sense than just their dumb cameos in the 2016 version, so I guess I appreciated that. I'm glad they weren't in it a lot. I was really worried that it was going to be like a Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, the sequel trilogy kind of thing where they're in the whole thing, and I'm really glad that they weren't, because it let this movie be its own thing. One major complaint is spoilers. I really hate that Gozer is the villain in this one again, because it just makes it makes this universe feel so tight knit, and like there can never be an expansion. It's like, nope, this is what it is. I mean, think of it like if James Bond fought the same villain in every movie. And I mean, I know they've got the villain in the second one was Vigo the Carpathian, and that's fine, but I really would have appreciated a new villain. They kind of hype up Shandor being the villain in this, and then he's not. It's just Gozer again, and it the biggest complaint to come out of that is like, yeah, I wish it was a new villain, but since it's Gozer again, they pretty much just made it the finale of the first Ghostbusters again. I mean, they don't fight Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but there's a bunch of little Stay Puft Marshmallow Mans running around for have comedy, and like, it was a funny scene, but it felt out of place. It felt dumb. It didn't need to be there. It's complete fan service. The demon dogs made sense because at least they're with Gozer, and they had a purpose in the first one, and they serve that same purpose in this one. This whole movie just amounts to the same finale of the first Ghostbusters, and it just really didn't work for me, because I'm like, oh boy, they're gonna do the same thing, and they're gonna defeat Gozer. Okay, like the original three come into the final battle with Dan Aykroyd, all them, and they try to cross the streams and it doesn't work, but then they just defeat Gozer anyways. It wasn't exciting. Um, I wasn't really attached to anybody in this movie, and I know I'm saying a lot of negatives, but really I did enjoy this movie, but it was good because it was just good, and that's why I don't know when I'll see it again. Um, yeah, I don't regret seeing this. So some of the comedy worked for me. I did laugh a few times. The little bit of practical effects that were in this movie looked really cool, and the CGI, for the most part, looked good. There were some points where it really didn't, and it really took me out of the movie. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. Not emotionally attached, and the only time this movie got any sort of emotion out of me, again, spoilers, I was not expecting Ghost Egon at the end. Um, and that is a good thing and a bad thing, because it's a good thing because he showed up and I wasn't expecting it. It hit me like a train, and I will admit I cried because I love Harold Ramis. But having him pop up, fine, but then he's just there and he doesn't talk to anybody. He's just there. I'm like, I wonder why Egon's not talking to them. Weird. And he's there from when he pops up. It's at the very end, and when he goes away, it's the end of the movie. Right after he goes away is credits. You pan up to the sky full of stars, and it says "For Harold," and I was like, oh, and then credits start. But he's there for way too long, to the point where I wasn't crying anymore. I was just like, well, you had me, and then you ruined it. I mean, you really ruined it. He needed to be there, and it was nice, but then he could go away, because it's like, we already know the lead actress is the stand-in for Egon, and that's why he's there, is he helps her fire the proton stream and everything, and it's this big heroic moment, and it was cool to have him there. But once you show him, just make him go away so that it's just the lead actress standing in for it works. It would have worked so much better if that was the case. If you're watching this and you haven't seen it, I'm sorry for the spoilers, but I just had to talk about it. Yeah, it was fine. I just got it out of the way, and rewatching the original Ghostbusters got me excited for the universe, so I went and played the game again, and the game is amazing, and as far as I'm concerned, the game is the canon Ghostbusters 3. It was written by Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd. almost like a ton of people from the original cast came back to voice their characters in the game. It just works. So I love that this movie exists. I'm happy for the people who love it, but for me, it just really didn't hit as well as I'm sure some people would have hoped. And with that being said, I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. And if you haven't seen it, go see it. I definitely recommend it. And if you have, well, I'm sure you wanted this review, so there you go. So the next movie, I just got out of seeing Encanto. And it was decent. Definitely lower tier Disney. So like for me, it's not Treasure Planet, it's not Tangled, it's not all my favorites like Hunchback, Hercules, Tarzan, my favorites. It's more mid-tier, like what I consider mid to lower tier for me. So like Moana, Frozen 2, hell, I don't know. I have a lot of Disney movies I love. Okay, well, I mean, you get the idea. Um, I really didn't read into anything with this. This was just another one I was kind of aware. Oh, Disney's got another movie coming out this year. Great, cool. You know, I'm so numb to Disney now that it's just like I really don't hear about new Disney movies coming out until my Facebook feed starts blowing up with advertisements for them. I don't see when they get announced. Like the only thing Disney wise still for me is Marvel. Like I keep up with Marvel, but Disney movies themselves, I have not been keeping up. And I'm glad I didn't really look into this movie because I feel nothing about it. Um, yeah, it was decent. I won't even say it was good. Of course, the animation was awesome because it's Disney. You expect quality animation from them at this point. So I really don't like giving praise for that anymore because it's such an obvious praise. The story, fine. I never got emotionally invested in it. I can't say I really care about any of the characters, especially the main character. It's like, okay, she's in a family full of people who have superpowers, and she doesn't have superpowers. Great, fine. I like that concept. And spoilers. I'm going into spoilers for this one. I honestly expected the movie to turn into she finds her power halfway through the movie and she's this amazing, better than all of them power. And that's not what it is. She doesn't have a power by the time the credits roll. And her power is just she's normal and she keeps the family together. She's the miracle that was sent to keep the family going and happy and well to do. It genuinely shocked me. I thought for sure she was going to have some sort of stupid OP power at the end. And I was really happy about that. What I'm not happy about is, if you've seen this, you already know, and again, I'm in spoilers, uh, the house, their magic house crumbles, because that's the big plot point for this movie. And it's the sad moment that's in every Disney movie, and I'm so sick of every kid movie having the same formula, but that's a whole other discussion to get into. And all the family has lost their powers, and they realize, well, the main character's name is Mirabelle. We're like, you bring us back together. Like you are our miracle. And so the whole village that they live in comes to help them rebuild the house, and it's a nice scene, and it was cute because Disney, of course. But then when they finish building the house, like the final touch, the magic comes back, and I like that really completely ruined it for me because it would have been so nice to have this ending of they lost their powers and their powers are gone. They're normal people now, and this village loves them, so now they can have a normal life. They don't need the powers to move on. But nope, the power comes back, the house comes back to life. Everyone's like, "Oh, look, I can do my power again." And I felt so cheated because it's like, well, do you want the message that you don't have to have superpowers to be special or not? Because it's like, yeah, we relate to the main character, but giving it all back to the family, it's like, yeah, it's what makes them special, yada, yada, yada. But I just felt so cheated. It was like, damn, I would have liked it better if they didn't have their powers back at the end and they were just a normal family and they all came together because of the one who wasn't special powered. It would have been a nice, cute send off. And I get it, Disney, they always have cheat endings. If hero dies in a Disney movie, they ain't staying dead kind of thing, especially nowadays. So, whatever, I'm getting pissed off for nothing. I'm still a Disney kid at heart. I, I love the movies I grew up with. I still consider Disneyland to be my home. And every time I think about Disneyland, it breaks my heart that I haven't been there since 2009. And I really miss my home. But the rest of Disney, I'm so sick of. I'm so sick of the same formula. I'm so sick of the bare minimum crap that they know is going to make $1 billion. So why make more than bare minimum crap? And that's not saying, I'm not saying that people didn't work hard on this, that this wasn't something that someone was passionate about. It does not feel like that at all, because that's the Disney live action remakes. Those are soulless. Nobody put their heart into it. There has not been a good remake at all. So when we actually get a new Disney animated movie that's not a remake of something, I get excited. So I was like, cool, here's a new one. I just wish this one had hit me a lot more. All the songs were forgettable. Um, I'm gonna come out and say I don't like Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'm sorry. I'm sure he's a great guy. I've seen some interviews with him. He seems like a sweet, funny guy, but I do not like anything he's created except for Moana, really. Moana was one where I heard he was doing the songs. And I was like, ugh. And then I saw Moana. I was like, oh, I actually like these songs. But I don't like Hamilton. I've tried watching it numerous times. It's just not for me. And I do not like any of the music in this, any of the songs in this, because it's like Moana. It felt like Lin-Manuel Miranda, but at the same time, it didn't. It felt like its own thing, and I was like, these are some really good songs. And in this, in Encanto, it's just Lin-Manuel Miranda songs. I just do not like his style. I don't like rap. I just, and even outside of the rap, none of the songs felt special. I'm trying to think of a single tune or anything to any of them right now, and I can't. So yeah, basic praise is it's a Disney movie. It's great animation, good voice acting, you know, fine, cute story, but the cons just outweigh the pros. The story was too predictable, except for the couple things that caught me off guard. The ending felt cheap, and I felt cheated. The songs were, I'm not going to say awful, but forgettable. Um, the message felt super blurry. I wasn't, I get what kind of message they were trying to send, but at the same time, it's just like you can't have your cake and eat it, and that's really what this movie feels like. It tried to have its cake and eat it, and I'm sorry, you're not going to get praise from me for that. So, glad I saw it. I'm not going to remember this movie. It's not going to be a Disney movie that I absolutely have to go out and buy. I will get it eventually, I'm sure, when it's on sale or something. But go see it. I've got plenty of Disney friends on here. Lee, McCoy, I'm looking at you. I know you guys love Disney, and I'm sure you've already seen it, and you absolutely loved it, and I'm so happy for you, but this one just did not do it for me. Oh, excuse me. And I'm really hoping the next Disney outing really gets something for me, because I'm telling you, I need a special Disney movie right now. I need something that really resonates with me, because even though I like Moana, it's not one of my favorites. So it's like I haven't had a Disney movie that has resonated with me in years. I don't even remember the last one. So, whatever. Go see it if you haven't. You're gonna. It's a Disney movie. And if you've already seen it, I'm sorry that I didn't love it. But I really tried to. I tried with all my heart to like it. So, that's it for that. I'm actually going to see another movie tonight, which is why I'm recording this in my car right now instead of going home and recording it. Might do a review for that after, but we will see. So, stick around and stay tuned. And, my friend John actually requested the Ghostbusters Afterlife review, and I had been planning on doing a review, but, uh, he asked me if I was going to do one, and I was like, well, that got me thinking, why don't I have people request movie reviews? Because I don't just plan on doing reviews for new releases that are in the theater or new releases on Netflix or, streaming. There are plenty of old movies I've seen, movies that have been out for forever that I saw for the first time that I'd really like to do reviews for. So if you've got a movie that you really want me to review, uh, go ahead and let me know. I'll add it to my list of movies I need to review. It doesn't matter when it came out. It doesn't matter what it's on. If it's a Netflix movie, or it doesn't matter, because some way or another I have seen it, or if I haven't, I will find a way to watch it. So yeah, guys, if you've got any movies you want me to review, just let me know, and I will get to it. So with that, yep, Ghostbusters Afterlife 6 out of 10, Encanto 4 out of 10. And thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one. See you guys.